everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Fort Worth Music Academy podcast. I am so excited to welcome our guest today, Miss Annalise Evenson. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So Annalise is the operations manager at YouFit Gym, and we're going to talk some health and fitness today, which is something I am passionate about. I would say I'm about 70% passionate about it. You are probably closer to like 95, 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
So tell us a little bit about your role and kind of how you got into that industry.
So like you said, I'm the operations manager. Basically, I make sure everything runs smoothly at the club, whether that's, with our employees, our staff, equipment, making sure everything is clean, stocked, just anything. If you see it, I take care of it basically. So that's part of it. How I got into the role specifically is honestly, I was a member at YouFit for a long time. It kind of became my sanctuary, my place, my escape, and just got to know the people there and created friendships and bonds. And then through that, life circumstances and needing to find a place of work. And this opportunity came up and it was perfect. It was like right time, right opportunity, exactly what I needed. And it's been perfect. So.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that it kind of became like your haven.
Yes.
Because that's how the gym is for me. It's my happy place.
Right.
I go in there and I turn the phone off. Nobody can get a hold of me. And I just get to kind of disappear into this world of pain and self-therapy.
Yes, exactly. Right. You can drown out the world. You can leave your stuff at the door, and just do your own thing, which is really nice. Yeah. And that's what we try to create for the people there too. Just, we don't want, when we want people to come in and feel comfortable to be able to do that, come in, do their own thing, make it their escape too. So.
Yeah. So what inspired you to kind of get into health and fitness? So for me, it was, I'm going to be, don't tell anyone, this is a secret. Sorry. This is going to be way too much information. But when I was in middle school, I started hiding big bags of M&Ms under my pillow. I'd go to bed watching The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, and I would stay up super late and just eat junk. And my parents couldn't figure out why I kept just getting fatter and fatter. And they're like, we feed him well. And my parents were like health nuts. And they're like, what is happening here? And so that eventually turned into I got to do something about this, and the pain and trauma of being an overweight middle school kid, and I still have a lot of that I carry with me.
Yeah.
Those terrible childhood habits I'm constantly fighting.
Yeah.
So that was it for me. What was it for you that really got you into it?
I've had a battle too. I've had a story, where it's my weight has fluctuated over the years for sure. And then after kids, it was one of those things, I had to become more health conscious based on, both my kids had food intolerances, after they were born. So I had to cut a lot of things out of my diet, which meant I had to start reading every single food label. And that totally, it triggers you and you start realizing what you are eating. And you're like, this is crazy. And so you become just becoming more conscious of the things that I was eating and putting in my body. You start seeing changes that way. And then it kind of motivates you to be like, okay, well, I'm losing weight. I'm getting healthier. I feel better. I want to continue with this. And it was just, I kind of dabbled on a treadmill, done stuff here and there at home, not ever was too intimidated to ever get into a gym. And my neighbors just happened to join YouFit and they told us about it. And so, went one day and kind of the rest was history. Started out, didn't know what I was doing, but just did it anyway, figured it out.
How old were you at the time when you started working out?
Probably 28.
Wow, no kidding.
Yes.
Wow.
In fact, I had a friend from high school recently remind me of making fun of people that lifted weights in high school. So, and here I am. But it's been fantastic. I mean, you see those small transformations and it starts impacting you and you're like, I want more of this.
Yeah.
And And so that's the kind of how it started and how it's, continued.
So for people out there who are maybe like wanting to take that first step and they're scared to go into the gym for the first time and maybe they've tried before, like they go in, they work out for a week and they're like, oh, I'm not seeing any results.
Right.
What's your advice for them?
I think the biggest thing is going into a gym. There's kind of two parts to that. That's intimidating in itself. You're going to have to find your right place. There are so many different kinds of gyms, so many different cultures in the gyms. So it's going in and finding the right one that's going to fit your style, basically. And I think that's number one, is being comfortable in your atmosphere. Because if you're not comfortable, you're not going to do a workout. You're going to kind of do things to, make sure other people aren't seeing you. And that you're not going to get results that way. And also, start slow. Everyone has a starting point, and you're not going to see results right away anyway. If you go in and you're expecting something right away, it's not going to happen. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint, and so, you have to make a lot of changes if your diet is a huge part of that, your lifestyle. If you don't have that on point, going into the gym is going to be worthless. You can't out-train a bad diet.
Because I tried for years and years and years, and it didn't work. Although I had read at one point where they're like, look, calories in, calories out. If you're just in it for straight weight loss.
Right.
And I was like, okay, so maybe I took it as a challenge. I was like, maybe I can outwork a bad diet. Watch me. So I proceeded to I don't recommend this for anybody, but I proceeded to lose 50 pounds eating an insane amount of M&Ms. You have no idea. But I would literally what I suffer from is I finally heard somebody vocalize this on a podcast once where they said, I think it was Dr. Drew. He said his issue is he will binge and run.
Right.
That's what he does.
Right.
That's what I do.
It's instant calorie
I'll
deficit.
sit in front of the TV and I'll be coping with, whatever stress I had that day and just eat junk. And I mean, I'll down 700-800 calories of M&Ms, no problem. And then I do the math in my head and I'm like, okay, I got to go burn all those calories off. And then I'll go for a 6-mile run, and I don't recommend it, but I lost 50 pounds doing that.
Right. I mean, so yeah. The problem is you're going to burn. Yeah, you'll lose weight, but you won't have any endurance,
Yeah.
So because you're just burning what you're consuming.
Yep.
So one of the biggest things is like for me, I do cardio because that's just part of what my body needs. I don't do a lot of it though. I do weight training because, muscle will burn calories at rest. When you're on a treadmill and you're doing cardio, as soon as you get off that treadmill, your calorie burn stops. So, you'll burn 700-800 calories and, however long that takes you to do 6 miles.
Like an hour. Yeah, it's very time consuming to eat horribly and then try to just burn all those calories.
Right. But if you're lifting weights, consistently and you're building that muscle, then, you're constantly burning calories. You have a high, resting metabolic rate. And so that's why, it seems intimidating to get into lifting weights, but it's super, super important as well. So.
Yeah. So that's the shift that I've been trying to make for myself is I've been a runner for so long that now I thought, man, my legs are exactly how I want them. They're like in perfect shape. And I'm like, well, maybe if I quit working those out for an hour every day and maybe started working on the other parts of my body, maybe those could be a little more toned.
Right.
So now I'm trying to do as part of my, like I do some cardio, but I'm trying to do 100 push-ups a day and 50 V-ups a day.
Okay, yeah.
Just so that I'm constantly doing some kind of resistance training and making that more. Is that a good approach to be just doing little bits of resistance training every day, or?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's so many different programs you can be on. It just depends on your body type, what your goal is, things like that. But for me specifically, I have my set week and I do different muscle groups for each day, and so, and then I add cardio at the end of, each one. So, It's really just about your goals and your body. And a lot of people, again, they kind of starting off, they don't know how to, what that means for them basically. So, we always recommend, especially at YouFit, getting hooked up with a personal trainer. The nice thing about YouFit is, when you do sign up, we give you an assessment, a fitness assessment. So you get to meet with our fitness director for an hour, and they go over things like that. And then, we have personal trainers there on staff too. So, and it's really affordable. And it's something that, number one, it keeps you accountable, keeps you, going. It's like,
Which is
okay, I have an
huge.
appointment. I've got to meet,
Yes,
but
yes.
it also, it gives you the knowledge to, be able to come in and know what you need to do to start reaching the goals too.
Yeah.
So, people think, oh, personal trainer, like I'm never going to do that. Like that's so expensive and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's really not. Like if you break it down and, and like I said, YouFit, we have a great program and, they can tailor based on your budget, which is really nice. But it's crucial for people
And
who
just get
don't
rid of
know.
your McDonald's and Chick-fil-A budget and put that money towards...
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, really, if you think about it, like people who stop and go get lunch every day or, a Starbucks Frappuccino or something like that, you stop putting those things, as, what you're spending money on and you put it towards personal training. I mean, it's the same, if not less.
Yeah.
So, it's what your end game is, what your goal is,
Yeah. And I think, I think it's the same way kind of with music lessons as with lifting weights and personal training. It's like so many people will try to teach themselves, and sometimes it works, and sometimes people will try to just start working out by themselves. Sometimes it works for people, but I think of it as like if I was going to start golfing or if I was going to learn to scuba dive, I wouldn't just go buy the gear and just start doing it.
Right.
I would want to know the right way
Exactly.
to do it, because it's so easy to think you're lifting the right way, and then all of a sudden, it's happened to me several times at the gym where a trainer just comes over and they're like, Eric, listen, I know I'm not your personal trainer, but I have to help you with this before you hurt yourself.
Exactly. And a lot of people they'll do their own research. So look, there's Instagram pages and all kinds of stuff you can research on your own. And that's good. It gives you ideas. It gives you some motivation. But when you're going in and doing it on your own, like you don't know if you're hitting proper form. You don't know, because you can do an exercise and it may look like you're doing it right, but if you're not hitting form, it's not even worth it. You're not even hitting the muscle groups and the things that you're supposed to be working with in that exercise. So having somebody knowing what you're supposed to be doing, how you're supposed to be doing it, so you get the most benefit out of it, and then you don't hurt yourself either is crucial. So.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we working out, awesome. I'm totally on board. I love it. It's my happy place. But now let's talk about the thing I don't like to talk about. Talking about diet.
Yes,
and
I know.
Not going on a diet, but just lifestyle.
Right.
How we eat. So for me, it's like I wake up in the morning, my mind is fresh, I've had zero stress for the day, and I'm like, I always start my day off right. It's like eggs and like a fruit and veggie smoothie, and I get all the nutrients my body needs for that first meal. But as the day goes on and I get mentally exhausted, my willpower to make good choices goes way down.
Right.
So what do you do to combat that?
The biggest thing for me is planning my meals on the weekends for the week. So meal prepping, I feel like that's been the biggest help for me. Not only because I know like what I'm consuming, I'm not gonna, be, rushed at lunchtime. Oh, I don't have anything. I got to go grab something really quick. It's, you wake up in the morning, you grab it out of the fridge, and you throw it in your, in a lunch box, and you're good to go. But again, just knowing, okay, this is something I made, what's in it, basically the nutrients that you're getting, the calories and whatnot. So, always being prepared is the biggest thing. Meal prepping for lunches, having healthy snacks. It's going to the grocery store on the weekends, and like I said, just getting everything you need for the week, preparing it Sunday night, and just doing that throughout the week. I mean, I'm not saying life doesn't happen, and there's an afternoon you're like, I don't want to eat this, and that's hard sometimes, but again, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Life happens, moderation. Believe me, I love eating a big freaking cookie or, a cheeseburger too. it's being able to
You do get
balance
to eat
that
some
out.
good stuff. I see it on your Instagram account.
Yeah, well, Fort Worth has become such a good foodie place. I mean, there's so many new things, places opening, and even old places too, that I'm discovering as well. And so yes, the moderation is hard. It's like, okay, this is definitely going to be my cheat day.
Yeah.
Um,
When you go out to eat, I've tried to get in the habit of just not finishing what's on my plate. Because
Right.
when I was growing up, I would eat whatever was in front of me.
Right.
And now I try to actively be in the habit of throwing food away or taking it home. How do you
Yes.
approach that?
I mean, same way, it just, I'm gonna, if I'm hungry, enough to eat it all, then I'll eat it all. If I'm not, then I'm not going to just clean my plate either. So
Yeah.
it's just feeling full, and then stopping. And which is really hard because I was the same way. Like that, when you're growing up, you clean your plate, and you're done. Same thing
Yeah.
at a restaurant. Like I didn't like throwing away food, So, yeah, just leaving it. I mean, take it home with you, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But but not feeling like you have to eat it just because it's on your plate. Because portions are ridiculous at restaurants.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yes.
There are some places I just won't go because I know if I get that burger, that's 1,200 calories.
Yes.
Instantly.
Yes.
And I don't have the self-control to just eat half of that burger.
Right.
So
Exactly.
it's off limits.
Exactly. And I like now that a lot of places, I mean, some new, more local places don't, but franchises and stuff like that, they do put like the nutrition, the calorie content and nutritional contents and stuff like that. You can find them online, find them on their menus.
And it really does affect how I
does.
make choices when
Yeah.
I go out.
Yeah, for sure. I do too. I'm like, oh, that looks nice. And then I'm like, oh, that really does not look nice. Like, no, I will see that later.
Yeah.
So that we're not going there. So, okay, maybe I'll make a little bit of a healthier choice.
So now, as a parent, how do you approach with your kids? Because I feel like for us, every day is some special occasion or some holiday, and it's like we got these special things. We got treats, we got candy at school.
Yeah.
And my wife is really good in that she is very balanced. She has a very healthy body image, and she just doesn't worry too much about that stuff. Whereas I tend to be a little overly controlling. Like, no,
Yes.
we can't do that. My greatest fear is that my kids are going to go through what I went through in middle
Right.
school. So I don't know. What's your approach with your kids?
That's hard too because I tend to err on the side of I'm freaking out that they're bringing home a box full of candy from Valentine's Day, and I'm like, this is like Halloween all over again. And I mean, we literally have bags of candy from holidays, and it's insane. And yeah, I definitely ration that stuff out. Like I'm not like free for all. But again, they're kids, and I don't want them to miss out on things like that either. So I think moderation is just the same with them, allowing them to have the treats and whatnot, but, keeping it a little bit more reserved as well. So,
Yeah.
because, I think teaching them healthy habits growing up affects them, later on for sure. Because that was hard for me growing up. I didn't really have, those healthy habits and knowing about healthy eating very much and stuff like that. So that's been a struggle my entire life is, being conscious of what I'm eating and, okay, this isn't really what I should be. But, trying to teach that to my kids so they have a better, ability to control themselves later on in life.
Yeah, yeah. Did you ever see the episode of The Office where Will Ferrell comes in to be the manager for like 2 episodes?
No, that's kind of when it started going downhill.
Okay. Well, there's a point where he's like a former overweight guy. That's his story, and so he's like real controlling of the whole office. And then someone brings in a cake for a birthday cake, and he looks at it and he's like, no, don't do it. No. And then he's like, maybe just a taste. And he gets a taste, and then he just sticks his whole hand in, crams it in his mouth. And he's like, oh, it's so good. He goes, no, what are you doing? I hate myself. And then he spits in the trash. Then he grabs another handful, shoves it in his mouth, and then spits it out. And that cycle, and I was like, that's me.
Yes. I identify with that very much. And it's funny. We do work at a gym, but, we have, things that come in. People bring us treats. People bring us cookies. We get pizza, stuff like that. And it's sitting there and it's like, I want to eat that. I really do. And I'm like, no, I can't. I need to be a good example. And I'm like, just one piece will be fine. You know, and it's just like, ugh. It's like this internal battle. And you're like, geez.
Yeah, yeah. So when you started developing healthy eating habits, was it kind of like, because some people I know can like throw out all their food and just start clean. I can't do that. I have to make gradual changes.
Right.
How was that for you?
Well, like I said, for me, it was because of the stuff with the kids. It was a forced thing, basically. I was forced to completely change my diet. So I did. I mean, it was like, if I'm not going to use it, I know I'm not going to, be eating it and consuming it. Like, I pretty much did throw things away.
Yeah.
But for me now, though, out of sight, out of mind is so much easier.
Yeah.
Like, not going to the grocery store hungry. So I'm not going to buy that bag of chips or that thing of candy, and know, or the thing of cookies or whatever, that I know it's going, like I said, be a battle when it's at home. Just trying to make healthier decisions because I know, like, if it's at home, I'm going to eat it, you know?
Yeah.
And so, that's my biggest advice is just, don't have it where you can even, get to it, So, or, I mean, if you're great at self-control and moderation, and you can go into the pantry and take one Oreo out, and then that's, so yeah, if you have that self-control, then, by all means, treat yourself every once in a while. You're never going to be able to keep up that lifestyle and eating healthy if you can't treat yourself every once in a while. It's a drag. You want to be able to go out and, if you have family, friends going out to dinner, like, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to have a grilled chicken breast and a side of steamed veggies, please. Like, that's not fun. Go enjoy life too. It's moderation. It's balance.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. Cool. Perfect. So before we go, you kind of touched on this earlier. So is for someone who's just starting and they have a horrible diet and they want to change and they don't work out but they want to start, what do you recommend as their first step?
Definitely first step is, like I said, finding a place, finding a gym. I think doing stuff at home is great, but it won't keep you accountable. If you're paying for something every month, more than likely you're going to actually want to use it and go. But finding the place that you're comfortable with. Don't, if you walk in and you're like, oh, well, they've got a good deal on a membership, but I don't really know how I feel about being here. Don't do it. Find somewhere else. There's so many places in Fort Worth to work out. YouFit, obviously I'm a component of YouFit because I work there and I love it. But we are a low-key, we're a general fitness gym, like, there's no pressure there. Like, we're not a bunch of Instagram models there. But if you want to look like one, come start working out there. But it's finding your place of comfort, for one, and just doing it. The first step is walking into a place and getting that membership and getting started. And I think that's huge. And then again, just start making small changes in your diet and in your lifestyle. Don't do it all at once. No, I would not recommend throwing everything out in your pantry. But maybe just things here and there. Like next time you go to the grocery store, don't buy that thing, of chips or cookies or whatever that you normally would. Just start making healthier habits, and eventually it becomes just second nature. It's not something you have to think about, And so, and I think it's important. Like I said, start slow. Make it a lifestyle change, and not just something you're going to do and then lose interest in.
Yeah.
And then remember, it's going to take a while. It's not overnight. It's a process, and you got to trust the process. Sometimes people, they'll fluctuate and they won't see changes and they get frustrated and they give up. Don't give up. Keep going.
Yeah.
You'll get there. It's just, you just have to stick with it. So, and find people that know what they're doing to help you with it too. I think that's huge.
Yeah. Cool. That's awesome. That's really great advice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Annalise. It's been really great having you here and here actually in the studio.
Yes.
So that's super fun. Where can people find you? Obviously, they can find you at YouFit, which is over on Hewlin.
Yes, we're off Hewlin Bend Boulevard. We're in the shopping center that's across from Walmart on Oakmont. So a little bit south of Hewlin. But They can also, we have, YouFit has Instagram page. We have a website as well. I post things on my own personal Instagram as well.
And where can people find you on your own personal Instagram?
It's Lisey853. Nothing fancy. That's me.
Lisey, that's Lisey
Yes.
853.
There you go. Thank you. But, again, like I said, I'm going to, be a fan of YouFit and, want people to come in. But, we would love anybody that wants to try to come in. I mean, you can work out free, give you a day pass, see how you like it, things like that. And we can get you set up talking to people as well about getting started on health goals and stuff.
Yeah, and I love that you're saying people just need to find a place that's comfortable for them, because we do the same thing here. I'm like, look, come in, see if our music lessons are right for you. They may not. They're not for everybody. And then we recommend them to one of the other music schools.
Yeah.
So I think that's the most important thing, people finding a place where they feel comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, for
Cool.
sure.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Annalise. And you guys, we will see you next time.